Good to go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so happy to have you all here. My name is Medina McKinney, and I am the board president of the BPA. We have invited you here in partnership with the San Mateo Union High School District, and we are welcoming you to wonderful. We are welcoming you to My College Pathway, Charting the Road to Success. So, before we get started, I wanted to quickly go over our agenda. Great. So, I will introduce you to our wonderful and amazing guest speaker, and he will also take us through a very amazing presentation. After that presentation, we're going to go over some announcements and reminders, and then we will have a Q&A session. During that Q&A session, we will be able to take some questions, but if you feel that you do not want to have that Q&A read or you don't want to speak during the Q&A, you can also email us, BPA, anonymously to our email address, and I can put that information into the chat, and I'll do that right now. hsd.org. That is correct. And that's going to go to everyone. So you are free to email us there, and then I can read your questions directly to our panel. When Q&A does happen, you will be called on. So as you're going through the presentation this evening, please feel free to go ahead and put any question that you have into the chat. And then once we are into our Q&A session, you can be called on and you can ask your question directly to our panel. After Q&A, we'll close out the evening, and that will be that. So next, let's talk about our our speaker, Dean Taylor. Dean is an amazing, very dynamic leader. He is the scholarship officer at Silicon Valley Community Foundation. He brings an impactful passion for education to every single position that he has had. And tonight we are exceedingly lucky to have him presenting to us. And without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Dean Taylor.
Hello, thank you so much, Medina, for that really awesome introduction. I really appreciate that. So kind. My name is Dean Taylor. As Medina said, I'm a scholarships officer for the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, and so excited to be here. Also, I am a first-generation college student. My parents helped me throughout my elementary, middle school, and high school experience to help me to achieve in the higher ed space, and I've been so inspired with that work in nonprofits and in the community that I've really committed my life's work to working with young people achieve their life and career and college dreams. And so today I'm going to give a brief overview. Medina and I are already planning about more opportunities in the future where we can provide an even longer presentation, but today I'm going to break up my time with you all in 3 different categories. The first is academic planning in high school and college, then personal planning in high school and college, as well as financial planning in high school and college. And I hope that today's presentation will be a good overview for you all on each of those areas. And all of the students in the presentation today are recipients of ours. So this first student is a longtime recipient of ours. He's applied to our scholarships every single year, and you can see that he's received an award for multiple years since he started with us. He's a graduate of San Mateo High School and just an incredible young person who's doing really great work, not just in his college career, but also giving back to his peers and his local community through volunteerism while he's in college. So for academic and personal planning, I think a lot of these terms will be familiar to you all, but I'm going to reshare some of these topics with you all, and better help you to understand what a scholarships team or a foundation or a company might be looking for in scholarship recipients. So the first thing in high school, that is true for a lot of California students, is prioritizing your A through G planning. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on the next slide for parents who aren't familiar, but A through Gs are those classes that you need to get a C or higher in order to be able to apply and receive admissions into California State University or University of California. Those A through G requirements also play a little bit of a part in terms of the grades that you get and the type of aid that you're going to be able to get from the state when you apply for financial aid. So those classes, especially because a lot of them will be A through G classes, really reflect some of the financial support you'll get your senior year. But for us, A through Gs are important only in helping you to get into college. Academic excellence isn't the only thing that we're measuring when we're looking at academic success. So for us, sometimes students have a 4.0 or higher GPA, and that's awesome. And we're so proud of those students for being able to obtain that GPA. But we also really like to highlight applicants who maybe struggled a little bit their freshman or their sophomore year, which is oftentimes true of low-income students or students who come from under-resourced areas where shock as you get from middle school to high school can be a little bit tough. And we really appreciate hearing about those student comeback stories where, maybe they struggled a little bit their freshman or sophomore year and then really turned it around their junior and their senior year, applying themselves in such a way that their GPA goes up. So for us, we do appreciate academic excellence, but we also value the personal characteristics that it takes to be able to turn around your GPA if things were hard at first. The second thing that we really like to see is students challenging themselves, and this can be true in the sorts of courses that students take. We really recommend that when appropriate and where appropriate, students challenge themselves by taking honors classes or AP classes their junior and their senior year. And that for us helps to measure whether a student is going to be able to successfully transition into college and take on those college level courses. So when we see students taking those honors courses and really stretching their academic experience, we really like to highlight that for our selection committees, and those students oftentimes can be awarded. We will say though that, we don't want students to overexert themselves so much that it inversely, affects their GPA. So we really hope that students are right in the middle of that challenge zone where, if it's not appropriate for you to take 4 AP classes all at once in your senior year and maybe you want to scale back a little bit. We also appreciate students who know how to manage their time and, manage their own expectations for their extra academic success. And then lastly, we really appreciate students who have strong relationships with their teachers. Oftentimes students who can build rapport with their teachers, seek support from them, and make sure that they're using all of the resources that are available to them to be successful. Those students are going to continue to be successful in college. So your recommendation letters from us are not very highly weighted. They are weighted, and they do play a big part in the sort of applicants that we choose. So please do your best to have great relationships with your teachers, use the resources that are available to you at school and your community, and then allow us to learn a little bit more about that from those recommenders that will write letters for your scholarship with us. And then for your college career, a lot of students don't know this, but you can continue to apply to scholarships while you're in college. We have a number of awards that are open throughout our year where high school students can apply and college students can apply. But by far, most students are applying when they're in high school, and then we see a sharp drop off when they get into college. And so we really want students to come and return back to SVCF, return to organizations that give you financial support through the form of scholarships, and continue to reapply. One year you might not get an award maybe, but the next year you might be reprioritized as a student who is a return applicant. So please, every year that you're in school, in your higher education, career, whether that be undergraduate, master's, or for your doctorate, please look for those scholarship awards, because the less debt that you have, the easier it is to say yes to the sort of career options that are available to you after you graduate from college. A lot of colleges do, not a lot of colleges and a lot of scholarship programs do require a 3.0 GPA for college students. I'll give you a little bit of background about why this is important. Students who have a 3.0 GPA are much more likely, and 3.0 and higher in college, are much more likely to be accepted into internships. And so for students, that's really important in order to make that transition from college to your career or college to your first job, that students are pursuing those internships and getting ready for their future careers. So a lot of companies and organizations require a 3.0 GPA. And so that's why you'll see a lot of scholarships follow suit with that. Not all of our scholarship programs require a 3.0 GPA. We do allow for some students to apply below that, but a number of students, or a number of you might notice that there is that requirement for students who are applying as college students, because they really want to make sure that students graduate, and students with higher GPAs are much more likely to persevere and get that college degree. Next up, we really like students who are able to manage their academic rigor with full-time enrollment. A lot of times students will fall into this common pitfall where they'll get to college, they'll sign up for a bunch of really tough classes that, given hindsight, they might not have chosen, and then we see that GPA drop. It's really important that we see students managing their academic caseload through the courses that they sign up for, and we're able to measure that by how well students do academically. A lot of STEM students, for example, so students who want to become doctors, nurses, engineers, mathematicians, teachers, those folks will sometimes sign up for a ton of really hard lab courses and then really struggle academically after that first year. So please be mindful, just in the same way that you're being mindful of the sort of classes that you're taking your senior year and your junior year of high school. You want to take that same mentality into college and making sure that the academic rigor is right at your level, and that you're able to then, by doing that, get good enough grades so that you can pursue through college completion and beyond. Next up, really can't highly recommend this enough. We really like students who have strong relationships with their professors. Oftentimes, this is a really good indicator for us if students are going to persevere and continue through college completion. So it's really important to get connected with those professors, going to office hours, talking to teacher assistants, all of the resources that are available to you on campus, the writing center, the math center, lab office hours, all of these things that we know students need to be successful. You should assume that you're going to need those things too. And so when students can highlight that for us in their recommendation letters that we get from professors, oh, this student is always at my office hours, always asking for help and doing what they need to do to be successful, then we know that this scholarship going to this student is really worthwhile, and that it's going towards a student who's definitely going to persevere and get their degree. So please reach out to your professors for help. I know it can be scary at first, but there are very few things on campus more important than asking for help and making sure that you get it with the resources that are available to you. And then lastly, in college, when we're looking for recipients that we want to award for our scholarships, we really like it when students are pursuing career development and internship opportunities. Your whole career, your whole academic career is really preparing you for that next change or shift that happens when you leave college and go to your first career. And so by studying biology, that helps you to become a doctor. Studying math might help you to become an accountant. Studying sociology might help you for a life in public service through nonprofit or local government or something like that. So when students are signing up for internships in between summers, in the summers in between two academic years, we know know that those students are getting really rich employment experience, work experience that's going to help them to successfully transition from college to career. So when we're looking at those activities that students report that they're doing on their applications, we really like it when those college students are consistently signing up for internships, consistently signing up for career development opportunities, because it's really clicked for them that yes, getting a college degree is awesome, but it's really a stepping stone to the next part of your life, which is, you know, having a job and being able to, you know, sustain yourself and support yourself. So those are the things that we're looking for in terms of academic and personal planning when we're reviewing applications. And then I wanted to pause here just to make sure that the parents in the room really understood the importance of A through Gs. So A through Gs are requirements in the state of California that students must meet in order to get into a California State University or University of California. And those are oftentimes the most affordable options available to students in the state of California for higher education. And so these requirements basically standardize what courses students need to take in order to be prepared for that college level content. Colleges want to make sure that students are ready because they don't want a bunch of students taking, you know, PE1, PE1 honors, PEAP for all of their courses and thinking that's going to be enough to get them into college, right? So by having a certain number of courses that a student needs to take in order to be prepared for college, it's helping to ensure that high schools know how to prepare students, and students and families know how their students can prepare themselves for that next level of education. So for the state of California, students need to take 2 history courses that are courses that are defined as being preparing them for or for college. So not all history courses count as an A through G class, for example. So 2 A through G history courses, 4 A through G English courses. So if you're counting that freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, all 4 years, a student needs to get a C or above in an A through G English course. So, no D's or F's any year for your English courses. 3 years of math, but if you're taking 4, that looks even better on your application for college and with us. 2 lab sciences, so biology, chemistry, maybe environmental science, but 3 looks even better. 2 foreign languages, so any language classes other than English, so maybe Spanish or French are very common. You need 2 years of that, but 3 looks even better. And then 1 year of an A through G visual or performing arts class, and then 1 elective class, which can be drawn from one of the topics above. I highly recommend that you and your student take some time to look at their transcript and make sure that they're on track in their A through Gs, because you don't want to get to your senior year and need to make up a whole bunch of classes just to be able to apply to a CSU or a UC. So making sure that you're getting a C and above in all of those courses all throughout high school, so that when it comes time to get your college applications ready, you've done that academic pre-work to ready yourself. Next up, I want to take you through some tips that might help you with our application process, and I also believe will help you with the application process with other scholarships. So the number 1 tip I can give you: start early. So the beginning of October is really the best time to start applying. You can start applying on October 1st when the FAFSA opens, applying for your FAFSA with your family members. You're going to need your tax documents for your parents and or caregivers who you're legally bound to. So beginning to apply in October by completing the FAFSA and starting to look for scholarships. SVCF, we're actually a little bit late. Our deadlines start closing in early January, but many high school programs across the country will start closing in December. This is because it gives us enough time to select and award students in time for May 1st, when students must notify schools that they are going to that one university that gave them admission. So first start by in October by applying for the FAFSA, and then immediately begin searching the web for scholarships you're eligible for. Next up, please apply as a high school senior and continue to apply every single year. So every October, your freshman year of college, your sophomore year of college, your junior, your senior year, when you get your master's degree, when you get your doctorate, in October is the time to start looking. Because if you start much later than that, then you're going to be automatically opted out because deadlines will have closed for a lot of programs. Next up, please be as clear as possible about your financial need. So for example, this year we've got a lot of students letting us know that, for example, maybe their parents have lost their jobs or their hours have been reduced. And the more information that we have about that, the easier it is to parse out which applicants are in the highest need and which applicants maybe have less need than other students. So please be very clear about any financial or personal information that will help us to be able to determine what's the best scholarship to award you. Next up, ask for help whenever you're confused. There is a scholarships associate who I work in collaboration with. She mans the phones every single day. So when students call, she's there to answer those questions and make sure that you apply. The more students that apply, the better job that we've done. So if you ever have a question about, I don't know what this is asking me, I don't know about, this weird financial term I've never heard before, give us a call. We're happy to walk you through it. And I'm sure that is true of all scholarship programs that you would be connected with. And then lastly, the last tip that I want to share with you before I give you a quick run through of what the portal looks like, so it's not too scary when you first log on for the first time, is to submit. There are a number of scholarships every year where we don't even get enough applications to award all of the awards that we could give out. So that means, let's say we've got 100 awards, we might only get maybe 90 applications or 50 applications. So there's so many funds left on the table because students assume, oh, that scholarship's not for me, or, oh, I'm not the right type of candidate for that. Really get out of that mindset because you're gonna miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So very much encourage you to just apply anywhere and everywhere that you're eligible for, and you're very likely to be able to get a scholarship. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen really quickly, and then I'm going to walk you through the portal. So you're just situated before your first time applying. All right. So this is what the portal looks like. It's a very simple system like this, but it can be a little bit confusing or jarring if it's your first time. If it's your first time logging in, you can go click on your name and go to profile here. That will take you to your home screen. So I'm going to pull up a candidate so you can see what one application looks like. I've got a couple of dummy accounts so when I practice doing things. So here, this is, imagine your home page for when you log in for the first time. Here, you're going to enter applicant information like your phone number, cell phone number, so we can contact you if maybe your teacher's recommendation didn't upload correctly and we need to contact you to get that re-uploaded to us so we can move you through to the next stage. So that contact information is very helpful. Your date of birth helps us to be able to understand, for example, what age you are. Sometimes students, list themselves as a college freshman, but they're actually still a high school student. So your age helps us to zero in on if maybe you just mislabeled yourself on your application. Residency information, which tells us which scholarships that you're eligible for. This is really just relevant for your county. If you don't have a naturalization status or you don't have US citizenship, that's totally okay. Continue applying. We have scholarships for students of all statuses. And if you're ever confused about that, please just let us know. I'm happy to, override the system if it's telling you anything differently. And then other helpful demographic information. Your education, here's where you're going to list your high school and your expected graduation rate date. You don't know what that is, so you can just put June 1st, 2021. That's totally fine if it's just an estimate. And then down here, you'll tell us about your academic goals, which would be getting your bachelor's degree, which is the next step of education for you. Extracurricular activities, including any awards or honors that you've received, school involvement, community involvement, employment or internships. List as many things that are relevant for you. We have some students who could fill out pages and pages of it. That's totally fine. The more information we know, the better we're going to be able to understand you as an applicant. And then here, financial information. So what is your household financial information so that we can calculate your individual need for college for next year? The cost of attendance. This is something we get a lot of questions about. So for your cost of attendance, basically what that means is how much does it cost to go to your university? So over here, you're going to list your high school, and then further down, you'll list your top 3 colleges. Under financial information, just put your first choice colleges cost of attendance. So for example, you can look up SJSU cost of attendance, and then it's published freely on their website for you to be able to access. The federal government requires every university and college in the country to publish this information so students know that they're being charged a fair rate and everybody's being charged the same. So this is freely published. And you can access this to add it to your application. Insider's tip: if you are a high school senior and you don't know where you're going to go to college next year, list your most expensive option as option number 1. That means that whatever your financial need is, we're basing it off of, the most expensive option versus your least expensive option. So for your cost of attendance, list your most expensive school as your number 1 school. And then once that is done, you can go to submissions, and then you can click the applications that you want to apply to or finish applying to in this section. So this is the main page, and this is where the applications for each individual scholarship are. So I just wanted to do that quickly so that the first time you log on, you're not by yourself. And so I'm going to go back to the presentation. Great. Some additional resources that I think would be helpful for everyone, and this is going to be my last slide before we do some announcements and then head into the Q&A of some, so these are some resources that I highly recommend. So first, please get in contact with an organization that's near you that can help you to be able to pursue college and get a scholarship. So there are local organizations like the Posse Foundation, has a group of students that they support through scholarships and mentorship and coaching. Organizations like College Track, which I feel like is it seems like I think I recognize a couple of students might be connected with College Track in East Palo Alto, or whatever college completion program is in your area. It's not just about getting support and being able to go to college, but it's also about having those scholarship funds. So if there's a program near you that offers that, I highly recommend it, but those are 2 examples. You'll also find scholarships that are tied to your local community. So for example, there's the East Bay College Fund that is available to students who are in the East Bay. There are other college funds that are connected to different regions. And also scholarships that are tied to your specific high school. So for example, at my organization, I oversee a number of scholarships that are connected to a specific high school district in one area. So I would highly recommend connecting with your counselors or teachers and understanding what high school locally based scholarships that they recommend you apply for. And then next up, a lot of students, based off of their immigration status or naturalization status, are very nervous about applying for scholarships and not knowing which ones, might feel safer than others. There is a free resource called the Educators for Fair Consideration Guide for scholarships that don't require a social security number. I highly recommend looking that up. It is a local guide and it's very useful, and it has a range of scholarships that are really geared towards students who might be dreamers or students who are looking to get citizenship status. So I would look there, and then also look on our website. We do have scholarships for students regardless of what your status might be, and we're very discreet about any information that you would share. So it is privately kept, and it won't be shared with anybody who is not helping us to select students. And each of those people have a background check and the commitment to keep your information and data safe. Next up, there are always online resources. I really recommend Scholarship America. It is a little bit late in the year, so next year do start looking at Scholarship America in October. That's when they're going to start posting things, and a lot of things start to close by December. And it has a Common App style application similar to ours, where you have one application and they use that to apply to multiple scholarships. And then lastly, there are two classics that we highly recommend, and we recommend them because they do a good job of keeping their website up to date. That is FastWeb and Unigo. Both of those are recommended by a number of scholarship providers that we collaborate with over the year. So those resources outside of SVCF we recommend. And then next up, I am going to pass it back over to Medina for announcements and reminders.
Thank you so much, Dean. What you have shared was truly, truly golden, and I hope that everyone who is online, students and families alike, found this information valuable. And we will make sure that the deck that was shared here tonight is available on the BPA's website, but also on our Smushed page. So look out for that. But before we move on to our Q&A, I wanted to share out a few opportunities with you all. You can go next slide. Yes. So first and foremost, there is the Black College Expo and Scholarship that's coming up on February 19th and 20th. It is an opportunity for juniors and seniors to enter into a $20,000 scholarship opportunity. They have extended their deadline to February 8th at 11 p.m. So those who are interested, please check it out. All of that information is available on every single one of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, website, I think even Smush Instagram as well. And for those who are interested in attending the actual College Expo, you can email the BPA's email account from your school email address for free admission. You can get a free admission code for the first 25 students emailing us. We will give you a free code to attend the College Expo. Next up, this is an opportunity for seniors. So please, any seniors who are online, please pay close attention. I would like for Doug Layton, Senior SVP and Head of Community Accounts, to please join us. He is going to tell us a little bit more about this amazing opportunity.
Hello, everyone. It's great to meet you all. I'm super happy to be here and share with you some information about a brand new scholarship fund that Visa has put together. So as Medina said, I work at Visa. I'm head of the community account group there, which means I work with community banks and credit unions throughout the country. And I don't know if many people know this, but Visa, which is a really well-known company, is based here in the Bay Area. We have 3 different offices, one in Foster City, California. You may have seen that as you drive across the San Mateo Bridge. We also have an office in San Francisco and another one in Palo Alto, with plans to actually build a full headquarters building in San Francisco over the next 3 or 4 years. Really interesting place to work. I've been there for 23 years and really happy with those 23 years. And I'm excited to share this opportunity with all of you here on the phone. So just last year, really just in the summertime, and it came to fruition just around December, Visa launched the Black Scholars and Jobs Program in partnership with the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. So this is a brand new program that is designed for college-bound Black and African-American students in the US. eligible high school seniors, and that's why Medina reinforced this is for seniors, can apply, that are applying or intending to enroll in a full-time graduate, four-year accredited college or university in the US, can receive scholarships up to $20,000 a year from the fund. It has the same criteria that Dean laid out for all these different scholarships, a 3.0 average, that sort of thing. But what's important about this program is not only does it provide for funds to attend the college of your choice, but it also provides a offer of a full-time job at Visa at the conclusion of your college degree. So if you maintain in good standing, which I know all of you will have an opportunity after 4 years at a full-time job at Visa. This program additionally provides other types of opportunities. So there's networking. This is the first time we've done this, of course, but in for the first class going through, the 2022 class, there'll be a Scholars Summit at our headquarters building in San Francisco, other types of career development, ambassadorship, that sort of thing. So we're looking for great students like yourselves to apply, and you can do so at the link let me make sure I get it straight here, tmcf.org, tmcf.org, that's the Thurgood Marshall College Fund.org/visa. It's a portal similar to what Dean was talking about, where there are other types of scholarships available, but you'll find your way to the Visa one and you can apply. We are taking applications until February 15th at basically midnight Eastern time. So it's February 15th, Monday, February 15th at what would be 9 o'clock Pacific time. So I encourage you all to take a look. If you have any questions about this program or Visa in general, you look to see if this is something that not only is compelling as a scholarship opportunity, but also perhaps as a full-time career as you leave college. I'm very happy to speak with all of you individually or come back and join this group another time. So thanks very much. I'll hand it back to you, Medina.
Thank you so much, Doug. I am so happy that you were able to join us tonight. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing this with all of us. And I hope every senior and every family member who is a parent of a senior, or if you know a senior, please pass this on. This is an amazing opportunity and it should not be missed. So again, February 15th is the deadline.
We sure would love to have some local students, here in our headquarters area, gaining these scholarships and coming to work with us when you graduate from college.
Absolutely. +1 for all of that. Agreed. So moving on so we can get to our Q&A because I don't want to run out of time. So I will make this really quick. We're going to just speed through this. So next, we're having a community focus group. This is about calling all of our community together, parents, guardians, family members, community advocates of our African-American, Black, multiracial students coming together in support of that demographic. We invite you to join us on February 9th at 6:30, just holding space for a candid conversation around topics that impact the lives of our students. That information is on our Facebook, IG, and website, and also on Smushed. So if you have any interest of coming together to talk about those things, please, please, please join us. All right, next. Save the date, Unity in the Community. If you know about this, you probably learned it from Unity in the Community. Who is facilitating the event on the 9th? Dr. Mary Bacon. She is facilitating that event. She is amazing. So please join us. And that information actually is on our information. So you will find more of that if you look up any of our social channels. So save the date, Unity in the Community, our virtual town halls. Our next one for next quarter is on April 13th, Tuesday, 6:30. So you'll get more information, agendas, and all that good stuff coming up soon. Now, moving to our Q&A. We have finally arrived. Want to give you as much time as we possibly can so that we can end on time. So we have our panel. We are inviting, of course, Dean and Jennifer Hoth, who is a school counselor. Oh, I'm sorry. Her correct title is MTSS coordinator. I have it down as the school counseling coordinator of all things for the district. Also, Steve Hansen, who is the college and financial aid advisor at San Mateo High School. So what we would like to do is, oh, do we have someone else? It looks like we have Joyce Lynn. Oh, yeah.
My counterpart from Cappuccino. Hi, Joyce. And
Yeah.
quickly,
Cappuccinos, we have more. So now I feel really lucky. We have more. Great. So we have more on the panel tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, Joyce. So we have more on the panel tonight. What we would love is for people to, we're going to take off the deck, everyone to come on, bring your cameras on, but please stay muted.
I'm sorry, I just have to, Medina, let people know we are still recording. So if you do want to ask a question, keep in mind, if you turn your camera on, you'll be part of the recording. You could type it or just unmute yourself if you prefer not to be captured in the recording. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for stealing my thunder, Steve. Well, he said what I was going to say, but now that it's been very, very clear, and I'll just reiterate what I said in the beginning. You can either type it in the chat, I can call on you, and then you can reiterate your question and ask it live to our panel. Or if you like to be anonymous, you can email it. And again, I will put the email address into our chat, and I can speak it for you anonymously. And we just ask that you keep it brief because we need to be concise on our time. And in that, I will hand it over to our panel.
I think I see one question here. I think it's from Shanice. Do you know about scholarships specifically for BIPOC, so Black, Indigenous, and people of color? And do you know about grant scholarships for individuals with learning disabilities or health conditions specific to Black and Indigenous people and people of color? So I can speak about the Silicon Valley Community Foundation. We do have scholarships specifically for students who are BIPOC. The number one scholarship that I love to share really openly is the Bright Future Scholarship. That's our internal scholarship. It is only for students who identify as BIPOC, and we would largely prefer to give to students who are from our target area, which is the two counties of San Mateo County and Santa Clara County. That scholarship is our last dollar scholarship. So students apply in the summer, right before they start college. We award during summer, and then students get the funds right when they start school. So that way we know exactly what each student's individual need is, and we can cater each award to them. So really highly recommend Bright Futures. And then we have a couple of other scholarships that I really want to name and encourage people to apply to. The first is Crane Baumeister. It's closed for this year, but please apply next year. Casey Kinch, and then I can also send this in a follow-up email with that Medina sends out. I can share these ones. So Crane and Baumeister, Casey Kinch, Bright Futures, and then one that I'll plug that I'm a huge fan of and really hope that we can continue to build a base for is our Latinos in Technology scholarships. This scholarship gives 100 different awards every year, and I mean that. My goal is to give out at least 100, and they could do more. They could award more if they could. So it's for STEM students, students who are studying STEM, who are originally from the Bay Area, so the 11 County Bay Area. You can look up what every county is online, but you can go to school outside of this area as long as you're originally from here. And it's up to $30,000 over 3 years. And so it's a huge award. And each year we're always struggling to get that many applicants. So if you identify as Latinx and you're planning on studying STEM, highly recommend returning to that scholarship when you're a college student.
I listed a website in the chat.
Oh, I see that, Joyce. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? And you can feel free to turn on your cameras if you would like.
I mean, it just seems like you all did a great job and answered all their questions already in the presentation. That's how I'm going to interpret this.
And that would be beautiful. If that is the case, then I love giving time back to people. Yeah, great presentation. Thanks a lot.
Do people, I'm curious, are most of the people in the audience, are you parents of, are you students or parents of a senior student, an 11th grade student, a 10th grade student? If you could just put in the chat like 9, 10, 11, or 12.
I could try to create a poll question real quick.
We could possibly put some other information out there for y'all if we knew like y'all are all senior parents or senior students.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like this.
So one thing I'll say, since there's like a 9th through 12th, oh, there we go, yeah.
Oh, I guess I was too late. It looks like a lot of people already.
There's a lot of 9th.
And new to the Bay Area. Well, welcome, Diana.
I just want you guys to know that the counselors are headed out to the Zoom classrooms over the next month. And so they'll be going over course selection and all kinds of different information around college access and actually course selection for next year. It's hard to imagine that we're doing it this early, but I just want you to be on the lookout and be in touch with your college and career advisors and your school counselors, because they will all be doing parent nights similar to this and with other information specific to the school site. And so if you're not following the counseling office or checking the websites or however you get your information, what do you say, via Canvas, everyone, wouldn't you say, Joyce and Steve, everyone will be doing some form of a parent night in the next 6 weeks, I would say. We just had our junior night last week, and we will be having a 10th grade night coming up in February.
We had our junior night last Thursday. Yeah.
All right, so if you're a junior parent and you didn't know that at San Mateo, then I want to make sure you guys reach out to your schools so that you're making sure you're getting the right information.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I won't keep you much longer. I want to simply say thank you so much for joining us tonight. We know that you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with us, learning more about charting this path to college with your child. And if you're here as a student for yourself, it is impactful and it is powerful. You are in charge of your destiny and you can do it. And you have all of these people in this room to help you do it. We are here to support you. We are the catalyst to help you show up as your true and most authentic self. So just because we did this today doesn't mean that it's one and done and we disappear. We are here to support you. My name is Medina McKinney. If I didn't say that, I am the board president of the BPA. I don't disappear. I am always here. That's Dean Taylor. That's Jennifer. That's Joy. I mean, Joyce. That's Steve. We're here. So lean on us, count on us, call on us. We are here to support you guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a really good night, and we will see you soon because we'll have more of these on different topics throughout the rest of the year. Good night and be well.